It's not over.
Stop the fight!
No! Default.
Everybody, I come here for everybody. Kill everybody. I'm the champ. I'm the king. Get everyone. Ah!
All right, guys. Broke Bets coming back at you. Lane here on the mic with Carson. What's up?
Yes, sir. We're back in action. It was a good week off, and looking to keep this win streak going.
Yeah, we'll highlight the last card. My wife, Natalia Silva, did a good job securing us pretty much all the units, and we'll recap that at the end here. But for now, let's just get right into it. First fight, Maxim Grishin versus Philipe Lenz, taking Grishin. If you watch the film for this, I feel like Lenz wasn't a very great heavyweight as is, given he wasn't the biggest guy, and he's cut weight and he's looked good here. But I feel like Grishin's technically better, uses kicks, his hands well, and Philipe Lenz, on the other hand, he's mostly just trying to power strike and land those big hooks and stuff. And, he had a good win recently against OSP, but we all know OSP ain't quite the same anymore. Prakniau is nothing special. I feel like Grishin will just be a step ahead, and, he had a competitive fight with Dustin Jacoby. Also, a giant. Then both these guys, giant light heavyweights. And I see Grishin putting him away with a knockout here. I'm going to say round.
Yeah, I think Len's last win against OSP was kind of like, I don't know. I mean, it's the corpse of OSP. He was on... OSP came off a win against Rua, which wasn't impressive at all. And then Grisham, the last fight against William Knight, looked good there. And then Jacoby put on a decent performance there as well. So, yeah, I like Grisham here as well.
Yeah, I mean, Lenz, decent skill set, kind of a heavyweight, light heavyweight skill set, not special. And he's also been finished in 4 of his 5 losses, so I'm feeling like Grishin's going to really find that finish here.
Yeah, the only one he wasn't finished in was against Arlovski, and he's not really finishing anybody.
Right. Moving on to the next fight, we have Luan Lacerda versus Damon Blackshear, and this is going to be a very close fight at these weight classes, especially Damon Blackshear showing his skill set. We're going to take Lacerda here. What I've seen that makes me want to pick Lacerda over Blackshear is that Lacerda can get the fight to the ground with a takedown, and I feel like Blackshear's too comfortable on his back, although has very good jiu-jitsu and he can hold his own down there. He was dealing with a higher level black belt here, and I think Lacerda, he got a takedown versus Cody Stamann, got good competitive striking experience in that fight, and Blackshear, though, on the feet, should have a little bit of a speed advantage, and this should make it for an interesting matchup. I do like Lacerda by decision here, though. I think that Blackshear can defend a lot of those submission attempts. What are you thinking in this fight?
Yeah, I think it'll be a really close fight. Blackshear's fight, his last one against Farid, was a lot closer than the line anticipated, and he looked pretty good in that fight. He lost, but I mean, he still was impressive and looked better than what the line indicated there.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I think Lacerda, coming off of a loss as well, he should be looking to bounce back here.
Yeah, Blackshear got
close fight though.
He got reversed in some positions as well against Yusuf Zalal, and I don't feel as confident in some of those abilities. I know Zalal isn't the best ground fighter; he still has some good abilities down there, but again, Lacerda also used a body kick very well versus Cody Stamann. It's a good length tool. Training with Jose Aldo, I like those everything to come together here and him to get a decision win. Moving on, Jinh Frey versus Elise Reed. Man, classic chick fight type thing here going. Elise Reed, I think we're just going to take her. But, man, I would think maybe knockout. I'll just stick with decision. Just because Frey just got knocked out pretty fast against Polyana Viana.
And that was Viana's first knockout ever.
Right. And Frey fell right back on her head pretty hard. Elise Reed has a pretty good snappy right hand. And Elise Reed kind of shown that she's okay in fights where She can't just get taken down instantly, and that's not really Frey's game. You know, she has a better ground game for sure, but it's not really the trademark of her game. So I like Elise Reed to win this decision, but don't bet on this fight. Distance.
Yeah, I mean, Frey's like 38 now. Reed's still only 30. So if you look into that, I still think Reed still has some left in the tank.
Right. Yeah. I don't like the over 2.5 in this. I don't like any of that shit. So I'd say just sit back and watch or fall asleep during this one.
Maybe go to the bathroom.
Yeah. All right. Next fight, we've already broke this one down. We got Daniel Santos versus Johnny Munoz Jr. We took Daniel Santos in this last one, and we took him by knockout. What we really like about Daniel Santos is he's just the pressure fighter. He's just going to be in Munoz's face, and he's shown that he's had that good jiu-jitsu on the ground to be extremely hard to control. So Santos should be on the front foot here and throwing more dangerous strikes that could end this fight or win him a decision. So that's how I see it.
Yeah, Charles Oliveira here. Fight similar to him. He'll take a lot of damage, but will still push the pace and pressure him, and I like Munoz I like Santos to get a finisher.
Yeah, Munoz would have to hunt for that finish, I think, to really stay in that fight and take over. All right, Santos KO round 2. Moving on. Andrei Arlovski versus Don'Tale Mayes. What is the matchmaking? Why is Arlovski still in the UFC? I don't know, some goofy ass shit going on. He got decimated by De Lima pretty quick for Arlovski, but I'm still gonna pick him here because Don'Tale Mayes is that bad. He is that bad. You watch those 2 fights in a row, and they're just awful. Given who knows how Arlovski's reflexes are at this age, and I just expect him to be slightly smarter, slightly better gas tank probably, and I hope he wins because Don'Tale Mayes will let down more people. I'm gonna say by decision. So, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Arlovski tends to win most of his fights by decision. So I think that will continue here. Don'Tale Mayes just isn't that good anywhere. I mean, his fight with Hamdy was pretty funny.
It was a
honestly.
Comedy show.
Yeah.
And I
and
think
then the Sakai one, he just didn't do anything. It's
he got clinched.
It's hard to back a guy who just doesn't do anything.
And for having an 81-inch reach and all that length, he tries to fight like Israel Adesanya, but if Israel Adesanya was on sleeping pills, so, yeah. We'll just go with Arlovski by decision. Again, another fight I'd just totally stay away from if I were you guys. Next fight, John Castaneda versus Muin Gafarov. We're picking John Castaneda here. Gafarov on short notice. Fought on the Contender Series versus Chad Ehlinger. Had some decent moments, and he's a good grappler. But what I see from Gafarov is that he is reliant on his wrestling to really pull out these wins. And Castaneda's got a good ground game, and he could tire out Muin here. And I think John just will take over. I'm going to say John wins a decision here. I think Muin showed good durability in his fight against Ehlinger, and I think that John will just outstrike him here to a decision, and maybe even compete with the grappling. What do you think? Yeah,
I like Castaneda by decision here is good as well. He's fought the better level of competition. This will be Gustavov first fight in the UFC, so maybe some nerves for him as well coming in.
Yeah, he's a quality fighter. Castaneda showing a little bit of impatience in Daniel Santos' fight. Had him on the ropes a couple times and then kind of folded under the pressure. I don't think that's going to be the same instance here. And then if you truly watch that Miles Johns fight, his pressure was insanely good in that fight, given John slows down. Not something crazy, but he's not the best point fighting boxer, but he's got a sneaky good high left kick. head kick. He's got Daniel Santos. He caught him with it 2 or 3 times, had him on shaky legs, but just couldn't finish the fight. But yeah, I like Castaneda here. Moving on. I'm sorry, I'll never be able to say Zaleski dos Santos' first name, unless there's an easy way to say it, I don't know. But somehow I can say Aubakar Nurmagomedov. But anyway, we're going with Zaleski dos Santos here. I just think that Aubakar doesn't have enough, damaging. It's like the same to Johnny Munoz Jr. You're not going for finishes. You're going for top control. You're just keeping the fight at range until you can get it to the ground. And I feel like Zaleski dos Santos is going for those finishes, and he should get the win here. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Zaleski does have some finishing ability. He's got some rear naked chokes in there, and Aubakar has been submitted twice before, and possibly could see that as a path to victory for Zaleski here.
Do you want to go submission?
I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I feel like KO or sub's a good route. Something I don't like about Zaleski dos Santos is that, he knows he hits hard, but he relies on his power too much. And what I see a comparison to is Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns kind of swings all of his power into every strike, and that's kind of what you'll see with dos Santos. He'll be off balance after strikes, but he will go for a finish. He'll have a kicking game. He could even get Nurmagomedov a little bit tired with the grappling. And I think a club and sub is totally possible here, or a knockout. And we'll go round 2 after a couple things have expired and Nurmagomedov slows down. Next fight, Jamie Mullarkey versus Naimov. In this one, you got Muhammad on short notice, and you got Jamie Mullarkey, who was just about to fight Garam, and Mullarkey, shown to be very tough in the UFC, has fought a lot of good competition here, and I think he pulls this one out. And Muhammad hasn't shown me anything bad that says he's going to be horrible, but Colin Anglin, he just didn't look too special on the Contender Series when that fight happened. And coming into this one, it could be kind of tough with a very experienced guy, very long guy, to beat him. So I think Jamie Mullarkey gets this one done by knockout.
Yeah, I was on the ground side when that fight was happening, but I think Mullarkey should win this one. Just the better competition, and Naimov coming in on short notice, a week's notice, not really in his favor here.
And we saw Naimov, if you watch that Contender Series fight, he got taken down pretty easily and got mounted pretty easily and put in all these bad positions. Not really what you would expect for someone from Tajikistan to have happening to them. But Mullarkey, with that pressure and that small cage, I think the grappling could pay off with some ground and pound. Or might just walk him down and take over. So Mullarkey KO round 1. Next fight, Karine Silva versus Ketlen Souza. Easiest pick of the day, Karine Silva. If you've watched Ketlen Souza in Invicta in her most recent fight, she got taken down 5 times in the first 2 rounds, and that's all the film I needed to watch, because Karine Silva gets the fight to the ground, she wins the fight, and I'll take her by submission in the first round. Pretty plain and simple. Karine Silva keeps range until she's ready to shoot that double leg or single leg, and then take it to the mat and finish the fight off. Not to mention, most recent submission was very impressive as soon as she got to the ground. So, anything else you got for this? Yeah,
that's the path to victory here. I mean, Souza making her UFC debut as well. Hasn't fought that level of competition yet, so
another glaring red flag I saw for Souza was a girl had double underhooks on her, and she just sat there and just on the fence and just let that happen, and then she just got tripped right after it. So if you're seeing shit like that, you can't trust that person. Moving on, Silva submission round 1. We got Tim Elliott versus Victor Altamirano. We all know Tim Elliott as the flyweight gatekeeper. And, I don't think he won his last fight, but I think he will win this fight. He's been on a layoff, but Tadir and him put on a good fight. I thought Tadir won. However, Victor, or maybe it was going to be a tie. I think there was a point deduction or something in that fight.
Yeah, there was a lot of glove grabbing and that
right.
sort of stuff.
And then Victor Altamirano just coming off of his fight against Vinicius Salvador. I feel like Altamirano just isn't coordinated enough in his striking. And we've seen that Tim Elliott is extremely durable with striking. I just feel like Tim Elliott's going to be a step ahead this whole fight. And he always does that antics thing where people are hitting him and he's calling on punches and shit like that. I don't know. It seems to get the judges to give a swinging decision for him. So
I think don't know where his headspace will be. I think we all know Elliot his wife cheating on him at their wedding. But anywho, I think he'll come out with more to prove, and I just think he'll be able to mix in the wrestling and the striking here throughout the entire fight. And
do you think he's going to do what Anthony Smith did, where Anthony Smith kind of pretended Johnny Walker's a home invader? You think Tim Elliott's going to be you fucked my wife, and that's going to give him motivation? Altamirano will be what?
Yeah, maybe.
I didn't even know that, to be honest. I didn't even know that story.
What?
I don't know. I haven't heard that one. I've also been in the process of moving, so that's why. Maybe if this happened recent, I don't know.
Yeah, it came out recently. Kevin Kroom.
Jesus.
I guess was. Was getting with
that fucking draft. Anyway, Tim Elliott by decision.
Yeah, maybe he'll come out with Mackenzie Dern divorce Kenzie Dern, where she's like a mythical creature now. She's
good
angry
point.
Yeah.
All right, next fight. Jim Miller versus Jared Gordon. Taking Jared Gordon by decision. We all know that Jim Miller is the most durable guy, just from if you watch the Alexander Hernandez fight. But I feel like Jim Miller will just be a step behind in the striking, and we saw Jared Gordon roll strikes very well and do some things very well versus Bobby Green. But the big butt is Jared Gordon's chin after that headbutt. This is a month away. That headbutt happened on April 22nd. Today, or the fights are on June 2nd, right? So
third.
That's a quick turnaround. So
yeah, it's a month and a week. I mean, that's probably the big question mark here is how is the chin of Jared Gordon after getting knocked out a month and a week ago. So yeah, I'm staying away from this one just because of that. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Jim Miller's had a reputation for having those hard left hand punches, that overhand. And I just have a hard time I have a hard time betting or anything on this fight when Gordon's path to victory is by decision and Miller's is by knockout or submission, I would believe. But at this age as well, he took a lot of punishment. Got to stay with Gordon. Moving on. Pineda and Alex Caceres. Taking Bruce Leroy, Alex Caceres. I just feel like Daniel Pineda, he's just this killer be killed guy, and Alex Caceres holds a much better style. He fights with length at range. He's got a better gas tank. And obviously coming off a very, very good KO, one of the knockout of the year contenders. And I just feel like Caceres will be a step ahead. And I like him to actually get a submission in this fight. He's very good at taking the back. And Pineda, slowing down, puts himself sometimes in bad positions in this grappling. So I think Caceres can submit him here. Rear naked choke. What do you think?
Yeah, I like Caceres here. I think he'll keep that momentum coming. I mean, with that highlight reel knockout in his last fight. If he can get another finish here, I think his stock will continue to rise here.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Final fight. Guys, please drop a like, subscribe. Obviously, giving you guys some nice bet tips coming up this week. For the main event, we have Kai Kara-France versus Amir Albazi. Such a close fight, and I see this fight coming down to a round or a split decision, and I'm going to take Amir Albazi on that side of this. And I'd hate to keep pitching against Kai Kara-France. I feel like I have been, and it's not totally on purpose. It's more, I'm believing more on the other guy. Albazi, if you guys have watched his loss to Jose Torres, and then if you've watched his fights like since then, I mean, go watch the Jose Torres fight where he lost, and look how discombobulated he was on the feet compared to the Zaleski Zumudulov fight, and how snappy his jab was, and he was making Zaleski miss these big punches. I think that Albazi will just be slightly ahead and make Kai Kara-France miss just a little bit more, and that's how I see this fight playing out. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we know that Kai Kara-France has probably fought the better competition here, but Albazi, every step up he's won. So I think if he can continue that, you're looking at him in the in the top whatever 5 or so in the division. I think Kai Kara-France he was scheduled to fight February, but he had to pull out because of an injury. I'm not sure what exactly he hurt, but that could be a little tidbit in there. Don't know what he hurt, but he should be fine by now, I would think. But Albazi, I think he can mix in the grappling here. I know Kai Kara-France has really good takedown defense, right, but I mean just the threat of the takedown
mixes
can
it
help
up
here for Albazi. Yeah,
I mean, watching Kai Kara-France, what you're going to see, obviously the powerful right overhand, but also great combination power strikes. I mean, you watch the Askar Askarov fight, and it's just bomb after bomb that can almost put Askar out. Obviously, that's how it put Cody Garbrandt out, and he's just got some great combinations of power strikes. Like you said, good takedown defense. However, I feel like in a lot of the process, he does end up giving his back in the clinch, or when he does try to get up from ground positions, and that could be a problem because Albazi could snatch up that back pretty easily and just ride out a round. Another thing I see from Kai Kara-France was really evident in the Brandon Moreno fight, and also the Brandon Royval fight that he lost, is that he's very good at being the guy going forward, but when he's on the back foot and people are pressuring him, he really struggles. Now, I don't think that's going to be the story of this fight. I think it's me back and forth. Albazi is just very good at point fighting with that jab and staying in and out of range, and I just see Albazi using his feints, in and out of range, calf kicks, and a little bit better defensively. But overall, I could see this being a split decision or a 3-2 on the scorecard, and I bet the over 3.5 at -165. I think that's a good price tag for that over, and I put 1.25 units on that. I think that's a pretty good play. Both these guys are going to be durable, and it's also a flyweight fight, more likely to go to the distance. So,
yeah, I mean, Albazi hasn't been in the main event, so I'll be interested to see how his gas tank holds up for if it goes to those championship rounds.
Right.
Same with Kai Kara-France, but I mean, his last one was 5 rounds, but it didn't make it there.
I haven't seen too many indications that Albazi's going to slow down, and Kai Kara-France, not super likely. He probably will slow down slightly, but nothing crazy. I do like the overplay, but I mean, it's hard to pick a winner here.
even odds for a reason.
And a step-up fight for Albazi. So
yeah.
All right, Albazi by decision. Let's recap the bets really fast. We'll talk about our wins. 3.13 units profit. Only lost one bet on the night. First fight, you had Anthony Hernandez and Natalia Silva.
Yeah, I mean, I said in that bets video, I got the Hernandez one at a bad price, or what ended up being a bad price at minus 295, and then it ended up being like minus 190. I thought that was a fair price at minus 295. It was just a horrible matchup for Edmund Shabazian. I mean, can't stop the takedown and the pressure.
And
so
our prediction for that fight was spot on as well. I mean, we said submission, but you get it, same ordeal. But like, Shabazian will look very good for the first 2.5, kind of exactly what happened, and then faded, and it was all Anthony Hernandez. So
yeah, I mean, Shabazian looked good for the first minute, 2 minutes, like you said. But yeah, Hernandez with that pace and pressure, I mean, he put a whooping on him.
And then, as you guys can see, we used Natalia Silva on every bet this week. We knew she's just miles ahead. And why not just use her as an odds boost? So that's what we did. You know, I saw some people saying, whatever, but we still won from it. Who cares? Next one was Michael Johnson versus Diego Ferreira. You know, he was ahead in that fight, but he got caught. Way she goes. Took a monster punch, fell really hard, and was snoring. So that's...
Yeah, it was a close first round, but Johnson probably won that round in my opinion. I'm not sure what the judges had it though.
Right. And then prop plays. You had the under 2.5 for Natalia Silva. Pretty simple, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I was either debating her inside the distance or under 2.5. I mean, they're pretty similar in price, but I just thought that if there was a finish, it would have been under the 2.5. So
right, covers the other side too a little bit. So
yeah.
Going down further, Buckley under 2.5 rounds. I mean, both these guys were swinging for the fences, and I swear to you, the knockout is exactly how we predicted. Fiallo was trying to use his left hook to counter, and then he got caught. So that's exactly how that went down. Down further, Urbina and Kosei getting finishes in most of his fights. Obviously not really UFC caliber we could see in that fight. And Urbina just stronger, totally stronger, and, you know, hit him with that body shot and he gave up. And then you had the final under 2.5 for the Shabazian fight, and yeah, we already broke that one down. So coming with more.
Yeah, I mean, we played that under 2.5. I mean, you just think about how the path to victory for either one of them. It's Shabazian first round KO or Hernandez second or third round finish. I mean, I thought that was a pretty easy read on that fight there.
Right. We'll get the bets video to you guys on Thursday. Obviously, got this one a little bit late, but I think still some good intel in there. Obviously with the Tim Elliott, situation. Anything else you got?
Nope.
Peace.
Peace.
I know. It doesn't matter from the trenches. I'm built like this. The old doubted me said I couldn't do it. The old said I couldn't do it. Look at me now.